This is a car that I have wanted to start for a very long time. It is the Aston Martin DB11. Now, we're behind the scenes at Aston's Gaydon headquarters, and we've actually got quite a bit of time with the car, so I'm going to be able to walk you through everything you could possibly want to know. Brakes, exhaust, the interior, and the engine. As is always the case, make sure you subscribe to Evo's YouTube channel for more Unwrapped in future, and we want to know what you think about it, so comment below. First thing you'll notice is this absolutely amazing bonnet. It is the single biggest clamshell bonnet that Aston Martin has ever made. Second thing is the brand new V12 5.2 litre twin turbo engine in front of me. This engine, newly developed by Aston Martin, puts out 600 brake horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 516 pound-foot of torque from 1,500 to 5,000 RPM. Front mid-mounted, it boasts things like intelligent bank activation, which will shut down cylinders to help save fuel. Outright performance stats are impressive. You've got a 0 to 62 mph time of 3.9 seconds and a top speed of exactly 200 miles an hour. What you have here is something called a curlicue. Now, it was first developed on the Aston Martin Vulcan. What it does is it pulls disturbed air from the wheel arch through here along the side of the car as a vortices, and it basically smooths out airflow over the entirety of the vehicle. Design-wise, there are a few DB10 style touches that you might have already spotted, but there are some that you might not have noticed. First being that these wheels, they were lifted straight from the car that appeared in Spectre. The other, these Bridgestone Potenza tyres developed bespoke for the DB11, they have the code name S007. The Bridgestones are 25540 ZR20s at the front and 29535 ZR20s at the rear. Brakes come in the form of ventilated steel discs with 6 piston calipers at the front and 4 piston calipers at the rear. As for the rest of the DB11, you've got this lovely V12 badging here, and then this aluminium roof straight which runs the entire length of the vehicle and leads back to another very clever aero feature. This being a GT car, Aston Martin obviously wanted to keep it looking as sleek and svelte as possible, but you do need to generate downforce somehow. How they've done that is with something very unique and very innovative. It's called an aero blade. Air basically channels in through here, actually through the bodywork, and then comes out here, and that in turn generates downforce. In keeping with Aston Martin tradition, you've also got these two single exit exhausts at the rear of the car. Now, Aston Martin has worked really hard to make sure that the DB11 sounds great, even though it is a twin turbo. You've already heard us start it up, so let us know what you think of the sound in the comments below. Now, as is tradition with Aston Martins, the DB11 has retained the signature swan doors. The first thing you notice when you sit inside the DB11 is the view out is absolutely spectacular. It feels like there is so much car out in front of you, and also that you're sat right on the back axle. The second thing is just the leatherwork in here is amazing. There's a few other really special things that I want to show you in the DB11 interior. The first is this broguing here on the seats. Aston Martin hasn't done that before. This here on the door is all one single piece. And there's this lovely aluminium Bang & Olufsen speaker here, which is an option. And then there is this in the central transmission tunnel, which means you've got absolutely tons of storage space. I think it's safe to say that one of the shortcomings of the DB9 was always its interior tech. With the DB11, Aston Martin has attempted to fix that. What they've done is basically lifted the back end of Daimler's nav system and incorporated into their car, and then kind of Aston Martinized it. The only single piece in here that you'll see that is similar to something in a Mercedes is this click wheel here and this trackpad, which is basically from an S-Class, but obviously wrapped in leather. All of the DB11's driving dynamics are controlled by buttons on the steering wheel. On the left here, this button, that changes the Bilstein adaptable dampers. On the right, this governs things like throttle response and engine map. So you've got 3 modes for that. You've got GT, Sport and Sport Plus. And on the left and right, obviously you've got these shift paddles which control the 8-speed ZF Auto transmission. What's most impressive inside is the way that Aston has managed to bring the new infotainment tech available to it, together with its traditional hand-built interior work. Rather than adorning the entire inside with lots of displays, the car still feels very bespoke. So that's it then, the Aston Martin DB11. Now, I feel very privileged to be stood next to this thing in the metal, and it's actually a bit of a shame that we've got to leave it behind. I cannot wait to drive it and also try out that new twin turbo V12. As is always the case, make sure you subscribe to Evo's YouTube channel for more Unwrapped in future. Click on the left to watch Evo's Henry Catchpole driving an Aston Martin N430 in Scotland, or alternatively, click on the right to watch more Evo Unwrapped on the BMW M4 GTS.